Over in the west, one man has gone to extraordinary lengths to save some astonishing Victorian structures.
I'm on my way to meet Guy Anderson. He's a Pembroke lad, born and bred, and he's had this fascination with local history since he was a child. He's particularly passionate about the military history here, which led him to buying this place, a Victorian gun tower that he has turned into his home. I mean, just look at it. Who buys that for their house?
For the last few years, he's been turning it into his home.
Hi, Guy.
Hello.
What a place this is, mate.
Oh,
It seems a strange place to live, but once on the roof, it all makes sense. The view is spectacular.
so welcome to the view.
Oh, wow, Guy, that's amazing.
This area is full of old forts, many of them abandoned and hidden away. Growing up here, they were the perfect playground for young Guy.
You know, as a kid, I remember breaking in here and playing in it. And,
Breaking in here as a kid. Did you really?
Yep. There was there used to be a rope hung from the top window, and one of my friends used to climb up that and come in and open the front door. And I always remember it as being absolutely derelict. And obviously, when I came and viewed it and looked around, it was in an amazing condition.
But this isn't the only Victorian fortification that you own, is it, Guy?
Strangely enough, no. I had an opportunity to buy another fort, a slightly larger one, and it seemed like an amazingly good thing to do at the time. So,
I can't wait to go and see it.
Slightly larger is a bit of an understatement. Hubberston Fort lies in the middle of the haven, and it's absolutely huge. It's the largest of 10 19th century forts, built to defend Milford Haven Waterway and Pembroke's Royal Navy dockyard.
There's no entry, and then there's absolutely no entry.
well, there is. I mean, it genuinely is dangerous, and that's the big issue with the place.
Oh, look at this.
Here it is.
Wow, here we are. That is absolutely amazing, Guy.
It's not bad.
So beautiful. It just curls round the corner there. All this brickwork. When was it built?
It was started in 1860, and miraculously 3 years later it was completed. Again, it was that typical Victorian sort of cut and shut idea where they dug large swathes of the cliff out, but then that material was then used to replane everything for the building.
Behind the thick walls of this Victorian Death Star were huge cannons aimed at the waterway.
Ah, here we go.
This would have been completely open, and then that would have given you your clear shot onto the haven.
How far would the charge have gone? How much power was behind this thing?
A 4,000-yard range on it.
Built from limestone and granite, this is one solid fort. And there's even more of it hidden inside the cliff.
Into the abyss, mate.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm glad Guy knows where he's going because it's an absolute maze. Guy's just leading me down here into the chamber carriage. So these tunnels lead into these big rooms that would have been absolutely full of munitions. It was all full of rubbish until Guy cleared it out by hand.
This took some cleaning, I can tell you.
He takes me through to one of the 6 munition stores he's recently emptied.
This is the first of the shell stores, obviously where they would have kept the shells, and then passed them through this small hatchway here out into the corridor so it could be taken out to the guns. Again, you have these ventilation systems that are built in here. Any damp air just gets drawn out of the room to keep your powder dry. And again, above us is a huge earth mound, so making this bomb-proof in here.
This is engineering on a huge scale, with even more tunnels boring back into the cliffside.
It's a very, very long space that travels all the way on top of those munition stores. Low ceilinged, I'm having to really crouch down here, but if you look down, you can see these little tunnelways that are leading directly above the actual munition stores themselves, where those shells and charges were kept. And in each of these spaces, there would have been an oil lamp, because the last thing you would want whilst working down there is to be plunged into darkness when you're handling a massive explosive shell.
This monster of construction was part of a 10-fort defence system that protected the Milford Haven waterway.
Goodness me, that's a view, isn't it, Guy?
It certainly is.
At the end of the waterway was the Royal Navy Dockyard, Britain's top-secret base for building warships, and they wanted to make certain no enemy could ever reach it.
It takes 20 minutes from when you come into range of these guns until you leave again as you head towards Pembroke Dock. For 5 minutes, you would be at point blank, and there would be a shell hitting your ship every 1.5 seconds.
The sheer magnitude of this fort shows just how serious the government were. Nearly 30 cannons and a small army running the place around the clock.
That is amazing. What a space, Guy.
That's what I thought the first time I walked in.
It's like a coliseum, isn't it?
This is the barracks for the 250 troops that were garrisoned here to keep an eye on all of those guns that we just visited.
It was designed to be self-sufficient. As well as dormitories for the officers and the soldiers, there were kitchens, a canteen, toilets, and even 2 pubs.
It's amazing being stood in here right now. You could very well walk past this area every day and not even realise there's such a magnificent building here. And of course, we're surrounded by houses on every side. There's people living up there, and then this place is just right in the middle, and it feels so shut away. All right, here we go.
Well, I hope you're feeling brave.
It's a bit wonky, Guy.
But that's good, because it means it's leaning into the corner.
Although the fort was in service for 80 years, there was never a shot fired in anger, and it was abandoned after World War II.
We've tied it off at the top. It should be fine.
Since he bought the fort last year, Guy has already done a lot of work to reclaim it from the undergrowth.
I believe that history should be tactile. You know, you should be able to get in here and touch it, and that it should be open for everyone. So, yeah, if I can get in here and consolidate it, make it safe, open it up, and then, you know, it becomes an attraction, you know, an asset for the whole town. We're hoping to put in an outdoor stage. There's a small theatre to go in here just for tiny events, and that's the kind of thing. These are too important, too special, too much of an asset for the community and the area itself to be held behind lock and key and slowly rot away.
We've seen throughout this programme that it takes passionate individuals to save buildings, the iconic structures that are so vitally important to telling the stories of Wales's past. Granted, it's not for everybody to come in and buy their own fort, but thank goodness that Guy actually did, because this place has got a real chance now of being resurrected, and it's going to give so much back to the community when they can come here again. That just one man can make such a difference is really inspiring.